Kanye West meets Donald Trump. Also, a man dies in a Japanese forest while picking mushrooms. And Tokyo's new fish market gets off to a good start. I go by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you're witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show. Well, Donald Trump met Kanye West. This is kind of amazing, and I want to talk about it. So, I didn't really want to watch this because I thought that maybe Kanye West is going to embarrass himself a little bit. I love Kanye, but he does like a bit of a rant, doesn't he? So, I actually kind of forced myself to watch Kanye West's whole speech, and at the end of it, I felt really empowered. So, I wrote down my thoughts and I'm going to share a few of them with you. So I just think it's ironic because everyone says Trump is this supposed racist, and yet because of Trump granting Kanye West license to just slap his own presidential table with his opinions, it kind of goes to show you that Donald Trump really isn't that racist, because I feel empowered by a black man, and I shouldn't even have to mention the fact that he's black. Who gives a crap? But let's be honest, racism is a hot topic, and Kanye came to discuss it in a reasonable way with the president when other people are just outright boycotting him and refusing to even come to the table to start a dialogue. So, hey, I look up to Kanye West and I feel empowered by what he said, and he's a black guy. So therefore, I don't think Donald Trump is the racist that the liberal media paint him out to be. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let Kanye in there. And I know some people are going to say, yeah, but Donald Trump's just fucking pulling the strings and controlling Kanye West. But no, Kanye West does what Kanye West wants. I think we all know by now that no one can control this guy. He's got brass balls the size of beach balls. The guy's going on to national television wearing a fucking MAGA hat as a black guy when that's been deemed wrong thing by the liberal left. This is serious. This is amazing. This is amazing shit. Absolutely amazing. So, at first it started off as a ramble, and a few interesting points did flicker through. One of the running themes was mental illness. Kanye West mentioned mental illness a lot, and I think the guy's projecting because I think he clearly is mentally ill. He always talks about blue chip corporations as if he has a hand in their success or their evolution. He talks about Google, he talks about Apple. He even showed Trump an Apple plane during this meeting, and he talked about Superman and wearing the Superman cape. So people with bipolar disorder often liken themselves and relate to superheroes because they feel they have this innate ability, but also they have a real dark side to them. They're loners, just like superheroes. They can't connect with the real world. And mental illness and things like superheroes and stuff were a theme of Kanye's speech. So I think he was projecting a lot. I think the guy is mentally ill. He actually said during this meeting that he was wrongly diagnosed and that it was just sleep deprivation. I don't think that's true. I think Kanye West clearly has bipolar disorder or some kind of serious mental illness, just proved by how erratic he is and how impulsive he is. But there is a point to what he's saying. Whether Kanye West has bipolar or not, he said he was misdiagnosed, and I think a lot of people are misdiagnosed. And I think, from my own anecdotal evidence, it's very easy for people who are very anxious to become hypochondriacs. And if they find out about something that could be wrong, they'll immediately think that it is wrong, because anxiety is a negative feedback loop. It has no limit. It just keeps building up until you have a panic attack. And I think Kanye West has a point there, because those anxious people will be far too quick to self-diagnose themselves. So what can we take away from this meeting? I guess a couple of things. Mental illness is very real, and whether Kanye has it or not, or whether Kanye is trying to help other people through his preaching in this speech, it's something that shouldn't be a taboo, and I think it's something that needs to be respected, and I think needs to be more in popular conversation, because it has a stigma surrounding it, and it's a little bit taboo, and these people really need our support. And I think Kanye West is mentally ill, seriously mentally ill, but these people can bring us great joy. I mean, just that meeting itself, watching Kanye slap the president's table while he's giving out some speech and saying how everyone should love each other, that is where it can bring you, I guess. And Kanye's wealth, a lot of mentally ill people, I've read books on bipolar disorder, a lot of these people had hugely successful businesses and made millions of dollars, but in the end, it all just came crashing down. And I think you're seeing a little bit of that in Kanye's actions recently. And so, yeah, I wouldn't change. I think a lot of people who are mentally ill, have bipolar disorder, wouldn't change it. Stephen Fry said he wouldn't change it for all the tea in China, because it gives him this feeling of a superpower that Kanye West says. These people have delusions of grandeur, and they have much higher standards than us, and that motivates them to strive to achieve great things, great pieces of artwork. And so mental health was a running theme in this, and I think that's good, because we should be able to talk about it, whether it's about Kanye or just people in general. So that was something positive that I took away from the meeting. Kanye West also put down a journalist who was asking him about racism, and Kanye just responded by saying, "You think racism's going to stop me?" Which betrays his conservative viewpoints, where he's an individual. There's power in individuality, and although the liberals paint everyone as a racist, and that means you need their help and you need to vote left in order for the left to look after you and save you from all the racists. Kanye West just like, "You think racism is going to stop me?" And I think that's the kind of attitude people need if they're going to overcome something. It's all too easy to blame someone. I can blame someone in a second. The Johnny Massacre show has hardly any views. Oh, it's your fucking fault, or you fucked me up, or you didn't give me enough money to like invest into the show, or whatever. That anyone can do that. But actually, talking about something frankly, I don't have enough Johnny Massacre viewers, and how can I make it more? Isn't that going to make me grow, listening to someone's opinion, even if I might not like it? Leave your comments in the box below. I like your constructive criticism. So I think overall this was just a victory for reasonable debate, just coming together, communicating without getting at each other's throats. Kanye is showing that anyone can do it. You don't have to be a liberal, you can be a conservative, you can be a neutral, you can just be a music fan. And I think that's wonderful. Kanye also talks about running for president in 2024, and he said he's a billionaire, so I guess he's doing pretty well at Adidas. And I just think Trump and Kanye are kindred spirits. They complement each other. They add something to each other's lacking personalities, which enhances their overall character. They clearly do. They've got something going on. And if you want an example of how we don't need to categorize everyone by color, we don't need to be so obsessed with racism all the time and just paint people out as racist just to win an argument. If there was ever an argument for this, that we are all one and the same, it was Trump and Kanye West meeting. And yet you have all the liberal media, which is most of the media, saying that Kanye's ranting, he's having a meltdown, Donald Trump's a racist, Kanye West can't be trusted now. When a black and a white person have come together and just get along because they're people, the left are going to make it into a black and white thing. And all I can see is kindred spirits, what's inside, who really get along. And so everyone should be saying, look, this is great. We've got a polarizing politician meeting with a much-loved musician, and they're just shooting the shit. That's amazing, and that should be the talking point. But it isn't, of course, but it isn't. So it really was amazing and quite inspiring. And it just goes to show, man, if you're dedicated, you can end up anywhere. Donald Trump ended up in the White House. Kanye West slapping the president's table because he made good music. I feel really good after this meeting. And of course, everyone on the left is mocking it. There's a journalist called Don Lemon who fronts a CNN show. And on his show, there was a panel right after this Donald Trump and Kanye meeting, and a black guy on the panel called Kanye a dumb N-word who's never read a book, and then Don Lemon, who's also black, was laughing about a racial joke. So if you're black, it's okay to chat shit about black people and say racist things about black people using words that were actually being thrown around during times of slavery. Then it's okay. But if Donald Trump does something, if someone on the right says something that might be misconstrued as prejudice, then all hell breaks loose. And they were making racist comments about Kanye. I don't care if the guy's black. Using the M word to talk about someone uneducated, it just shows how hypocritical the media are, and proves once again why Donald Trump is a positive influence. All of the corruption, all of the conceited people who are in positions of power that have become too comfortable are now exposing themselves. And we needed dragon energy like Donald Trump to expose these cockroaches, because we just want good people. We don't want fanatical lefties. We don't want fanatical people on the right to be making any decisions. We want some reasonable people. And I think Kanye coming together with Donald Trump, perversely, is exactly that. It's all about compromise and just being reasonable and hearing each other out, even though you might look like you're very different on the surface. Actually, there's a lot of values that we share. So Kanye Donald Trump meeting, it was great. It was fucking wonderful. My final point is I've been feeling frustrated as an artist for about 2 years since this SJW, feminism, liberal madness, diversity, politics started becoming mainstream. And I just want to say what I want to say. And hip hop has always been about that. It's about coming out and saying, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fuck you up. There's no limit in what you can say, whether it's shocking, angry, violent, sexual, whatever. That is art. But we're at a stage now where we've, in this politically correct time, which is just ideology and dogma pushed by the left that helps them try to control people and just dominate anyone who doesn't agree with them. And that is wrong. I'm surprised more artists haven't come out like Kanye West to try to defend their careers. The career of a creative is dead if they have to be politically correct. Just look it up online. Comedians talking about it left, right and centre. Comedy's dead. You can't say anything anymore. Hip-hop is gone stagnant. A lot of shitty artists because everyone has to dance to the same tune and they can't say what they really feel. But Kanye has made it okay to do that as an artist. And I think it's a watershed moment. And I'm surprised more artists haven't come out and said that, because how many artists are happy with just going with the status quo and what the establishment does? No, all the top ones were like, fuck that. Tupac, whoever, they're like, fuck the system. It's not anymore. You have to follow the system or you're in trouble. You have to believe a certain way because of your skin colour. Fuck that. Kanye's breaking down boundaries. And look, what do people expect? He's a fucking artist. Has deep emotional intelligence and he's a creative intellectual, but he's not a political fucking mastermind. Of course he's going to be a bit rambling, and it's so easy once someone has the balls to step up on stage, which all the other people don't do, to throw tomatoes at them and say, oh, look at this dick, or criticise them. But he's actually come out. At least respect the guy enough in that to allow him to just say what he thinks. The guy's all about love. He gave Donald Trump a hug. He said, I love you. He's all about love. He's trying to be positive. So get off the guy's back. And don't expect him to give some Churchill-style rousing speech that's going to fix a war or something. It's Kanye West, but his heart's in the right place. So that's all I have to say about Kanye West meeting. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to say today. I just wanted to focus on that. There's a few other things I could talk about. I mentioned it on the intro about some Japanese guy dying in the forest picking mushrooms, because on the Johnny Massacre show there's always a bit of nature, something poisonous, something toxic, something animalistic and carnivorous, from great white sharks to crocodiles and everything in between. And going into the forest picking mushrooms and dying is very newsworthy, therefore. But I think I'm going to save that for next week. And I was also going to talk about the Tokyo Fish Market because it's up and running. But I think we should all keep the focus on the Kanye-Donald Trump meeting and what we can take away from that, putting mental health in the spotlight, being reasonable, coming together and not making things like a gang, red versus blue, which is what Kanye said in the meeting. Just communicate and calm down people. And liberals, stop with this whole racist shit. In the beginning it was misogyny and sexist, and now it's racist, and now it's rapist, and there seems to be no limit to what you'll do to slur people who don't agree with you. Let's just all calm the fuck down and take a look in the mirror and be reasonable people. We can work it out. I went by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you've been witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show.